Hey, greetings everybody. It's the author Andrew Snorton. You're joining me for the Fast 15. As you're aware, to stay connected with me, you may add me on Facebook on the official author page of Author Andrew Snorton, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at AuthorASnorton. If you've got inquiries regarding any of the books, the audiobooks, book signings, coffee, things along those lines, you may email me at authorasnorton@gmail.com as I get my brim together. And when you add me on Instagram, click on the link in the bio as it's my link tree. So as many of you are familiar, if you use a link tree, it's the whole directory of everything. So if there's anything that you missed out on, the simplest thing, add me on Instagram at AuthorASnorton. Click on the link in the bio, which is my link tree, and then you can navigate through. So that way you have all the info on all the books, the audiobooks, the social media, any new interviews that have taken place and things along those lines. So I appreciate you guys taking time to join me today. As it's the first Wednesday of the month, July 5th. Hopefully everyone's having a good day, a good week. Hopefully the summer's going well. And before we get into our topic for the day, which, as many of you are aware, the first Wednesday of each month is when we feature a different author. I mean, I like featuring my work, of course, but there's some great authors out there, contemporary, historically, things along those lines that I want to make sure people are aware of. But before we get into that, definitely, as we always do with each talk, for people out there that are going through some things, I'm aware of people that are going through some, physical health challenges, mental health challenges. They've had family, friends, or loved ones transition, just going through some stress, real talk. So for anyone that's out there that's just not doing that well or doesn't feel like things are in full sync or full gear, full rhythm, we're sending words of encouragement to you. And I know people say that people don't care, but no, there's people that care, because look, if we were in that situation, we'd want somebody to care. So, we're sending words of encouragement out to you. Hopefully you're able to find a place where you can pause, slow down the moving parts, see the challenges that you're dealing with for what they are, and then if you see it a little bit clearer, you can put yourself in a position, what do I need to do to work through it? Or like the saying, go through it and grow through it. So if what you're dealing with requires, professional help, or you just have to change your habits, the people you're around, or whatever constructive things that you identify that you can do, go ahead and give them the time they need. I know everything that I'm sometimes going through, I don't get through it overnight. And it stinks. Sometimes it really does. But we understand that there are some storms take a little bit longer to weather, and you just take the time you need to get to where you are to do what you need to do. So that's for anybody out there. We know by the same token, there's people that are doing extremely well. They're seeing growth, personally, professionally, with their faith, with what they're doing community-wise and what have you. So anyone that's going through a positive, growth experience, we commend you for it. We applaud you for it. You have every right to celebrate. Don't go overboard in your celebration, but definitely celebrate, because you know what you're led through in order to get to where you are. So those are our words of encouragement, and just continuing to speak life into people. Now, having said all that, today, the selection for today is an older read, but I think it's a pretty interesting one, especially in light of some current events. So this is by Alani Guinier, The Tyranny of the Majority. And this kind of centers on when she was nominated as a civil rights attorney during the Clinton administration. It got shot down, and all those types of things. So even though some of these things took place about 30 years ago, we always know that there's those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. And in light of some of the recent rulings by the Supreme Court, and as we know, elections really do have consequences. Even though we don't vote for the Supreme Court, we vote for the people who vote for the people who are in Supreme Court. So you got to pay attention to elections. But I want to read this quote from the second chapter of her book, The Tyranny of the Majority. And the second chapter is called Keeping the Faith. And what's interesting when I was rereading this is looking at the last paragraph of the conclusion of chapter 2. And I found it to be very speaking to a couple of issues. So let me read it aloud. And here is how it goes. If the voting rights laws are vigorously enforced and the immediate barriers to political fairness are crossed, blacks can obtain a greater degree of actual representation. Even after blacks reach this goal, however, new questions regarding political fairness will certainly arise if blacks remain seen and not heard. But first, our political system must redress its historical insult to African Americans by fostering actual representation whenever possible and thoughtfully considering race issues whenever relevant. Now, this book was published in 1994, I believe. Yes, 1994 is when this was published. And this was part of the response to what happened in getting voted down as the leading civil rights attorney. And I guess now it's evolved to the Department of Justice or things along those lines. But it's very interesting, the commentary about voting rights laws. Have we heard about voting rights kind of being tampered with the last few years? I think so. Another thing, if people remain seen and not heard, have we seen that? Put somebody in a position and just be happy being there. Here's another thing. This one is really powerful. I'm going to reread this last sentence. But first, our political system must redress its historical insult to African Americans by fostering actual representation whenever possible and thoughtfully considering race issues whenever relevant. So I'm going to leave that there, given some of the things that have happened within the past week. So what's funny or fascinating is that even though this was written almost 30 years ago, to varying degrees, we are still working through some of the same socio-political hurdles that we need to clear. And the hope is people who are in positions in politics and leadership and influence, remember the reason why you are there. Plain and simple. Remember the reason why you are there. Remember how you got there. I'm just going to leave that there. So I definitely encourage you go into the archives and reread The Tyranny of the Majority by Alani Guinier. Definitely encourage. So, having said all that, a couple of quick announcements. July 15th, shouts to our friends at Coffee Loft Atlanta. We are doing coffee and conversations, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at Coffee Loft ATL, located on Peter Street in Atlanta. Make sure to visit our respective social media. Go on Eventbrite, get your ticket. It's a ticketed event, but it's definitely designed for the creative community, the business community, everybody to come together. So we'll meet, greet, network. We'll have a conversation on the books, audiobooks, the writing process, and a little bit of the coffee. So shouts to our friends at Fonte's Coffee in Louisville, Kentucky, doing amazing work with the collaboration. The AuthorASnorton blend. We have the medium roast. We have the light roast. We do have decaf that's going to be in the works. So stay tuned when that is released. So shouts to them and everybody that's been supporting on that end. Our friends at Life with Shanita. If you are a jazz person, you definitely want to check it out. July 23rd, 5 p.m. Spivey Hall in at the campus of Clayton State University. We've got 3 great jazz artists that you want to check out. Proceeds are helping support some really great causes. So again, shouts to Life with Shanita on that event coming up July 23rd. And we'll definitely have some more things in the works, so make sure to stay tuned on that. But yeah, guys, I tell you what, I love being able to do these chats. It's something that helps me, and I hope it's helping other people. So it's not just me giving this information, it's hopefully just giving us things to think about, pause about, reflect about, see where we are, see where we're trying to go. You know, what are things that we're doing that are helping us get there, and what are things that we need to, you know, just kind of make adjustments to. But to stay connected with me, make sure to add me at on Facebook at the page AuthorASnorton, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at AuthorASnorton. Make sure to email me at AuthorASnorton@gmail.com if you've got any questions, autographed copies, bookings, bring me in to speak to your book club or whatever. I have no problem doing that. And when you add me on Instagram, click on the link in my bio. It's for my link tree. So if you go on Instagram, click on the link in the bio, it has all the social media, and it's got the current interviews that have taken place. So shouts to the Voyage magazine series, because on one of their affiliates there's the most recent interview. The newsletter is on there, and we'll have some more things that we'll utilize our Linktree on. So instead of going here, just go to Linktree, and then you can just scan through, go what you need to, click on it, and you're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and get ready. As you hear the clock is going, as I gotta hustle, I gotta wear my media hat and cover the AAA team in Gwinnett County, the Gwinnett Stripers. They're affiliated with the Atlanta Braves. Let's hear the grandfather clock right quick. Okay, so having said all that, I gotta wear my media hat and hustle up to the ballpark to cover. So for that type of coverage, visit AuthorASnorton CCS on Instagram, and you'll be good to go. And also AuthorASnorton CCS on Twitter. So I think there you have it, guys. Again, hope you have a good day, a good week. Remain encouraged despite, the body blows that we sometimes take. And it's not just blows to your body. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Be of good cheer, be encouraged, take time to pause and reboot, whether through here or other things. Look for constructive ways to do so. Don't do anything destructive to you or other people. And on that note, whether it's small or big, a victory is a victory. Whether slow or swift, movement is movement. So keep it victorious, keep it moving. Take good care. Look forward to seeing you all real soon.